Trophy Horse with your hosts, Tricky Nick, Alex, I Yield to No One, Sid, and Ender Phoenix.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Trophy Wars. This is episode 702. I'm your host, Tricky Nick, alongside with me, the man, the myth, and the legend. And he's an Astro Bot. It's Alex.
Certified that I am better at Astro Bot than Tricky Mick.
No.
Okay, whatever you say. We'll let the viewers decide. The listeners.
See, I can respond in a way, but then it's just gonna make me seem like I'm being petty, so I'm not gonna go there. He brings the awesome, and he brings the trophies in Core Keeper. It's Yield.
I did earn a couple.
You did earn 3.
I earned 3, yes, and that was today actually, it's kind of weird because we played for like 5 hours Friday night and didn't pop I didn't pop a single trophy. I think one of the guys popped a trophy.
Yeah, I looked up because I was playing the game earlier and I tried to recruit Nitro, who's working with you, and I looked up the trophies. Maybe I should jump over them. It's like 80-hour plat. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'll skip that one.
Oh well, yeah. It may be longer than that, but I mean, for like somebody who hasn't played a game like that. But anyway, yeah. Big learning curve for me.
Big learning curve.
Big learning curve.
Gentlemen, how the hell are you? We don't have Matt this week. I don't know. We sent him to Indonesia, I think. Where did we send him, Alex?
Indianapolis.
Why did I think
Close,
Indonesia?
though.
It's in Indy.
You get Indianapolis, Indiana confused with Indonesia. Right. Can't. I don't know. Get a world map, my guy.
Maybe we're gonna have to start having Yield be the travel agent and where we send people. Yield, what do you think?
This could get good.
Maybe. All right, gentlemen, we have been playing some games, and let's do our updated trophy count. I am level 976 with 35,296 and 1,012 platinums. Alex?
I, opening the agenda, can tell you that I am level 530. Total trophy count of 11,111. And a platinum count of 205 in 204 games, which, for our faithful listeners, is a brand new platinum for me, my first platinum of the year.
Did you plan the 1111?
No, I did not. Actually, I was sort of shocked when I pulled up the agenda. I mean, like, I don't know if you could tell when I tried to read, I was like, oh, I had to count out the number of ones, because it's like, oh man, those are 5 ones. But no, I didn't plan that out.
Well, you're just one step behind George Carlin. Yield, your trophies count?
I don't get that reference. Anyway,
he had the old joke that he says he never fucked a 10, but one night 5 2s.
Okay, no, I hadn't heard that joke. That's good though. Level 539 with a trophy count of 11,614 and a platinum count of 224.
Matt is level 223, total trophies of 1,360 with 0 plats. And Sid is level 901, total trophies of 27,996 with 867 platinums. So, while we're on trophies for a second, I just want to point out, do you guys find it weird that I'm over 1,000 plats, but I'm still 24 levels from level 1,000?
Well, yes, but no. And I say that because I know the games that you play and what you did to get to 1,000, and so that's why I'm like, no.
I don't know. I'd stick with the number of trophies and the number of plats. I should be over 1,000, but hey.
But isn't your awards?
I think
no. I'm thinking rarity.
And I think it just goes by Yeah, I think it
just
just
a-
goes by
It's a gold, platinum,
yeah.
or whatever. So okay, so in that instance, I guess yes, it is a little weird that you've got over 1,000 platinums, but you haven't hit level 1,000.
I don't understand Sony's scoring system for all this for the levels. So
Well, this is PSN
it's
profile
not.
score system, not PlayStation.
I don't understand PSN profile.
Oh
scoring
wait,
system,
no,
So it's
no.
it's not out to me.
I apologize. I'm wrong. This is PlayStation.
No, this is PlayStation. PSN Profiles uses PlayStation's scoring system.
Yes.
Again, I don't know how they do this on the back end. I don't know what the formula is. So I just kind of accept what the numbers say.
It is what it is.
I just go with it, man.
Eventually, I'll hit 1,000. All right. Let's get into our rarity. First, we have Sid from across the pond.
Are we going to talk about what we've been playing, or do you want to jump into that?
We're gonna get into that after the trophies.
Oh, okay.
Don't we do that every week?
I don't know. I don't know how we change it up week to week.
I mean, I haven't hosted in a while, so I mean, it's a little weird, but I thought I was doing it right.
I don't know. Is there a right way or a wrong way to do it?
I don't know.
As long as we cover it.
Let's ask Sid.
Hey guys, how
Okay.
we all doing? Sid again with the Platinum shoutouts for this week. And we have quite a few to get through this week, guys, and some good Platinums on here. So first we have Pee-wee ITFC with Song of the Sea on the PS5. Then Doc Chicken 13 with Colouring Book on the PS4. And Absalom on the PS5. Redbeard Rick with Robocop Unfinished Business on the PS5. That is the expansion to Rogue City. I'm partway through playing that one. I've not got too far in it yet, but same as Rogue City, it is great. Then we have Psy Tychist with Aerial Knight Never Yield, PS5. Never heard of that one. MZ Nitro with Metal Hellsinger on the PS5. That's a good little game, that is, a first-person shooter, if I'm thinking of the right one. Gaz Davis 11, The Gardens Between on the PS5. Never heard of that one. Ifrit Hellfire 90 with Cat Quest PS4. Cat Quest 2 PS4. Stray on the PS5. Jurassic World Aftermath on the PS5. Then we have EDJ3DG with Battlefield 4 on the PS4. Then Affectatious Donk with God of War Ragnarok on the PS5. And California Wayne with Car Mechanics Sim 2021, or Car Mechanics Simulator 2021, and that is on the PS5. Raise Havoc with Astro Bot on the PS5, that is an amazing game. Shotty Sniper 123 with Dark Souls on the PS3, and Hades on the PS5. And last but not least, this week, guys, we have Big Bernardo B with Cat Quest 2 on the PS4. So, shout out trophies, I think, for me, are Robocop Unfinished Business and Astro Bot, because it's just such a good game, and Dark Souls, guys. So, yep, there we go. That's it from me. I'm going to go before that washing machine decides to start spinning and go really loud, because I'm late recording this, so I've been banished downstairs to do it. And I will talk to you again next week, guys. So keep getting those trophies. Hope you're all okay. Bye.
I am so glad he said that was his washing machine because I didn't know where the hell that sound was coming from.
Ricky, I don't know if you heard him, but I got a shout out for getting the Astro Bot Platinum.
Yeah, I mean it's a good. It's a good game. Just you cheated to get it, so.
I want to hear this.
No,
Hear this.
no, because I said this is where it's gonna get petty, so I'm not doing it.
No, you went there. How did he cheat? I want to hear this.
Hunter Houston, welcome to the chat. I did post, so.
Yield, I did not cheat. I don't even know what angle he's going to take, because there's no possible way to cheat or cheese or do anything like that.
Are you just better at races than he is? Because I know that was his trouble in the pack along Astro Bot was he has trouble with the races.
Well, and if you remember Ratchet and Clank, which Ratchet and Clank game had the races that he couldn't get the platinum trophy in for
Yeah,
the longest time.
he had trouble with that. Yeah.
That was Rift
But
Apart.
no, I mean we'll get into it when we talk about what we've been playing. But
All right.
But yeah.
All right. Okay.
All right. Before we get into what we're playing, Yield, do we have a rarity update?
Yeah, we do. It's a long one. Harris puts a lot of time into it.
I know you stole it a little bit.
Well, I am because I got to pull it up on my phone. Got to scroll back to the top because I was looking over it. The new season is upon us, and there are notable changes. That is the move from 2 divisions of 16 and 18 contestants to 3 divisions of 12, with the top 2 and the bottom 2 from each division moving up and down. Again, 2026 will be split up. So season 6 will be the first half. Season 7 will be the second half of the year. Here is the first update to find out who the early pace setters are in each division. So in the first division, we have newly promoted, rolling on the floor, laughing out loud Z, who earned a 100% in Sonic Mania, and in the process increased his ultra rare trophies by 6 in the first week. He has 90 points, top the division. Not far behind him with 88 is last season's winner, Edge, whose score is influenced by earning the Platinum Battlefield 4. There's a gap down to third of 44 points as last season's winner, Duck Chicken 13. It's in solid performance as Nitro is just 2 points further back, 42 at fourth. Fifth to ninth is separated by 10 points. X Nightmare 317 is fifth with 32. Psychiatrist, and in between him and Psychiatrist is ninth on 22. Is Redbeard Rick, Kiwi, and Ifrit Hellfire 90. Ice at 10th, just outside the drop zone with 10 points. Marky Frazier sits 11th with 6. And Gareth props up the table with -7 as he suffers decay with 5 ultra rare and VR trophies this week.
Very rare.
Oh, very rare. I'm sorry. I forgot that was the virtual reality. So.
And I just want to clarify something. Doc Chicken was last season's winner. Edge was a previous winner of another season. You said Edge was the winner of last season. Doc Chicken was. So just want to clarify.
Okay. Well, whichever. they're both winners. I know.
They're winners in our books.
I'll figure it out by the end of the first season. Second contestant who would normally have survived in Division 1 last season, but for the restructuring went blow for blow in the first week back, each scoring 47 points to head the table. The two in question is Meets Goats a lot and CJ, because I can never say his PSN name.
Affects your stunk.
Yeah, there you go. I'm just going to say CJ. Newcomer Shoddy Sniper 123 is in third with 33 points. Ricky gets off to a strong start, getting 30 points to leave him in fourth. Congratulations, sir. You were not a bottom feeder so far.
You know, I'll let you finish. Sorry.
Okay. Well, no. We can banter a little bit.
Okay. I must be confused about how the hell this is scored. Because I thought I had like 60 or 70 points. Now, I'm not saying Garrett did something wrong or anything like that.
Well,
I'm saying I must not know how this is scored because I thought I had more points.
Well, depending on when he takes the scoring and when you earn your trophies, that could be the difference.
He took it today.
When did he take it last week?
He took it on January 3rd when he said that everybody can start earning points.
Well, then that would be a question you'd have to ask him.
Yeah, I'm not saying he did something wrong. I'm just saying I must not know how this is scored.
Okay. Anyway, you're fourth.
Yay.
Grady Gamer is just 2 points adrift California Wayne is a further 3 points back on 25. Oops and Alex scored similar in the opening week with 16 and 17 respectfully, leaving them 7th and 8th. Rick 09 and Waterfields 1 are both outside of the drop zone on 11th and 12th, occupying the spots going down to Division 3 and last season's Division 1 contestant, Mr. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle 84 on 0 points after drawing a blank in trophies this week, and our second newcomer, Prometheus 101, who also went trophyless. I don't know why that locked me up, and had a score of minus 15. Ouch. Division 3. A low scoring week in Division 3, but heading it up is the Brain 76, who has a 7-point lead with 18 points. Second contestant occupying that promotion spot is Resident Daryl, who earned 11. The rest of the division is in single-figure digits. Big Bernardo B, 7, is third, followed by the Big Don, with 6 points, is in fourth. Lie and Dat1 Seagull scored the same 4 points. Stink Palm earned 3 legacy points, placing him in 7th. Above Departed, 570. Dodge Williams and Homer Gets Duffed down to 10th. Murray, 2011, and Dark Knight 82 are the bottom two, and yet to get off the mark in terms of points and trophies. I guess this is my first one of the year. Rare trophies of the week. 5th, Redbeard Rick with Corrupted Keen and Curious Expedition at 3.69. Myself is 4th with The Proclaimer and NeoSprint at 2.27. And to toot my own horn, according to PSN profiles, I am the first one to earn that trophy. 3rd is Rolling on the Floor Laughing Out Loud Z with No Way in Sonic Mania at 1.83. Edge has Black Canyon Clear and Trackmania Turbo 2 at 1.21. And at first place this week with the rarest trophy was Doc Chicken 13 with My Entrepreneur in NBA 2K14 at a whopping 0.58%.
Guild, you are still the only person that earned that trophy.
I am.
But the question is, never mind.
Yeah.
How is it the 2.27% if you're the only person that's ever earned it?
I don't know. And there's only 44 people who have played the game, so that's probably why it's only 2.27%. I don't know.
And
it took like 3 or 4 days before because I checked as soon as I earned it, because I had seen that it was at a 0% before that. So I earned it, and I went, and it had me listed first one to earn it, but it took like 3 days before it finally registered that yes, one person had earned it, and what the percentage was. So I don't know, and I'm not upset. I just toot my own horn because I'm not first in anything when it comes to trophies like that. So,
I mean, congratulations. I'm not trying to throw you shade. I'm just
no. I was kind of curious too, because I was like, oh, this is going to be my lowest trophy ever. And then when it finally popped up at 2.27, I'm like, that seems high, but whatever. I'm not going to knock it. It's still very rare.
All right.
Ultra rare.
All right. So just, clarify everything. There are 3 divisions now. Top 2 and bottom 2 are in the relegation zone. I promised I was going to load in Kenny Loggins' Danger Zone for when we do that, but I forgot to do that for this week. But yeah.
Next week.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm very distracted today. Let's get into... Go ahead.
Are the Rangers playing?
No, the Rangers are not playing, and thank God, because I don't know if you saw yesterday's score, but that was a tragedy.
No. The sports on my phone only stick to football and baseball and local basketball teams.
You don't watch SportsCenter, do you?
I don't watch SECPN.
Yeah, the Rangers got us lacking. They lost 10-2.
Ouch! Give up 10 goals. That's bad.
Yeah. All right. I know the way I'm going to sound right now, but to be fair, we've lost our number 1 goalie. a number one defenseman, and a number one offense all in the same game.
All that hurts.
Yes. So this was first game after struggles. They took a shellacking. I'm not trying to take that away, but this was a learning curve because people play with new people.
There were reasons you got shellacked.
Oh yeah, and we played the Bruins.
I get what you're saying.
And we played the Bruins, who are not a scrub team.
As a sports fan, I get it.
So, let's get into what we're playing. Yield, we'll start with you, sir.
So, I spent some time in Roadcraft, working on Sandswept is the map that I'm working on. A little bit of time in Helldivers this week. I was able to purchase the Double Freedom, so I'm a happy Helldiver. That shotgun is it worked. It's I don't say badass, but it's a capable shotgun, so I'm happy about that. I've been spending a lot of time in NeoSprint. The Proclaimer trophy was the 500-mile trophy, so I am now working towards my 1,000-mile trophy, which I am at. I just checked before I came up. I'm at 678 miles.
I'm going to assume nobody has that one either.
No one has that one, and no one has the platinum because the game's buggy. I've had 2 trophies glitch out on me that I don't think glitches out on everybody or not. So I'm going to try a couple different things, but after I get the 1,000-mile trophy, I've said what I'm planning on doing. So I hope my plan works. If not, then the 1,000-mile trophy will be the last trophy I get, and I will just be stuck there. And I've also started playing with Homer and Nitro and Prepare to Die Scum and the Brain 76. We all downloaded the Plus game this month, Core Keeper, and we started playing it. And if you've played Minecraft or Stardew Valley, you would understand how to play the game. If you haven't, like me, there is a huge learning curve. And so I had fun and was cussing at the TV at the same time. So, but that's it. I haven't really played. I just been dabbling in those. I need to get out of this funk. I think I'm going to try to dive back into Indiana Jones this week, because I picked up a lot of games off the sale, the holiday sale, before the first round went away on the 8th. And I would like to put those on my system, but Indiana Jones is locking up 134 gigs. So I should finish that up.
All right, Alex.
Well, I think we already kind of gave away what I've been playing, but
Well, Sid did.
don't you blame Sid for this?
He's
He's not at fault for anything.
He's the one that called you out on it.
He didn't call me out. He gave
He
me
didn't call me
a,
out. He gave him a shout out.
gave me a
Well,
shout out
that's-
for my platinum trophy.
Okay, I didn't mean call him out as in the bad thing. I meant calling him out. He's like, he already exposed it.
Look, we're just like a few weeks into the year. You could be a little bit nicer to Sid. My gosh.
I'm extremely nice to Sid, and he will tell you that.
Okay. Sure thing, buddy. No, a little bit of Rocket League. We got our current Rocket Pass going on, and just doing what I can to earn as much experience. It's a little bit of a downtime for me, having just blasted through Astro Bot, getting the platinum trophy in that. So trying to earn some XP for the Rocket Pass, try to just get as much as I can, so I have less to do on the back end. I don't know. I'm not really in like the mood to start anything. I guess next on my list would be Ghost of Yote, but I'm not really interested in like starting that game just yet. It's gonna be a lot of work, and I don't know. I'm just kind of not in the mood really after playing Astro Bot to play a ton. But so my platinum trophy was an Astro Bot, and I really enjoyed the game. And I think one of the things that makes that game so great is that like there's some games, and you know, I say some games, but a lot of games can kind of fall in the trap of there's definitely highs and lows, like there's ups and downs, and like, you know, there's some levels you may hate, some levels you may love, even in like your favorite game series. But I felt like as far as Astro Bot goes, like the quality and how much I enjoyed playing the game was like even throughout. It's like there wasn't like a galaxy or a planet I really hated. I mean, some were harder than others, and I guess I would say that I had some that I liked a little bit more than others. But for the most part, like I think everything was just even. Like, and it was just an enjoyable experience throughout with like really without any real drops. Love the camera functionality, which you earn later in the game after you've got enough puzzle pieces. And I've even like even after getting the platinum trophy, I've kind of gone back into the game and replayed levels and boss fights just to use the camera so I could get better pictures. So I've got like a folder on my phone of pictures from Astro Bot, which I will do from time to time with games, Horizon Forbidden West, God of War Ragnarok, stuff like that. There's just some games that I really enjoy taking pictures in, and Astro Bot obviously is different stylistically from those games, but I just think it's a really cute, charming game that has like just a lot of really great photo opportunities in it. So I enjoy doing that. It's like just another aspect of the game. And one of the things I really, really loved about this game, and I don't know, I don't want to spoil anything, but there is something that happens before the final boss. And if you really don't want to know, like, Yield, do you mind if I say, are you going to play Astro Bot?
Yes, eventually.
Okay, well, then I don't want to bust it up for you, but there's a scene and a gameplay sequence that happens before the final boss fight, after you hit the big red switch, that I think is really, really enjoyable. And if you like a certain galaxy far, far away, you will really, really enjoy it. There's just a really awesome sequence that happens before you fight the final boss that I really, really enjoyed. I when it happened, while it was happening, I was like grinning like an idiot. It was great. So, but yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on Astro Bot. Really fun game, and I just enjoyed it. And the platinum trophy. So one of the things I kind of hinted at earlier, me saying I'm better than Tricky at Astro Bot, is because Tricky had talked up this final challenge, this golden statue challenge, and I sat down to play it. I actually put it off for a few nights. It's like, okay, I'm gonna have to sit down when I have the mental fortitude to try to take this on. And Tricky had said, I believe he had said himself on a previous episode, that it took him like a month to do this challenge. He told, like, was it last week or the week before? He was like, good luck, man, because it took me almost a month. I sit down, and within like 30 or 45 minutes of learning the track or the level, I was done. I'd beaten it. And I don't want to say it's not difficult. It is challenging, and I died quite a bit. But I also feel like it was shorter than I thought it was going to be. Like, I got to the end, and I was like, oh, that's it? Like, I expected it to be longer. And it may be part of the reason I was able to get through it a little easier than Tricky. I mean, I assume Tricky set the controller down, turned the game off, and stepped away from it for a few days. Like, I don't think he was just pounding on the controller for, like, an entire month.
No, I definitely took, like, time off between.
But I did all, like, the extra DLC levels, which some of those are harder than the final grand challenge. Like, some of the levels that came out post-release, I found harder and more difficult than the final challenge they had for the game. So me doing those extra levels might have helped and aided me in the difficulty of the grand challenge, or whatever they call it, the golden statue challenge. So yeah. But yeah, just blasted through Astro Bot, enjoyed it a lot, and yeah. Oh, Tricky.
Yes.
I know you said that some of the bots were in there that I said weren't in there. They're definitely not. There's not a Twisted Metal bot in there. There's not a Murray. There's not a Bentley. There's a few others missing, but I did find Clank. Clank is standing between Ratchet and Rivet in the crash site. So I did find Clank.
You said there's no Daxter. There's a Daxter.
I never found Daxter.
How could you never find Daxter?
I have the Platinum Trophy. I have everything 100% complete. I've got all the bots. I've got all the gotcha machine things. I never found Daxter.
I'm pretty sure I have Daxter.
I will say that there are a lot of more obscure bots. Like there's Gex and Croc, from like the PS1 days. Like there's a lot of obscure bots in this game. So I'm not saying like they did a poor job in choosing, but there are some notable omissions. I will admit that.
I thought it was weird, and this isn't a spoiler Yield. I thought it was weird how many Helldiver bots they put in.
Well, they had like 3 Helldiver bots and 4. They had 4 Helldiver bots and then 3 Hellgas soldiers. So they had like groups of them.
Yeah, but I think 1 each is fine.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it that it's kind of like a squad. Like the 4 Helldivers make sense because it's a 4-player game. And the Hellgans, like you kind of want them to be. I understand having them as a troop, but I do think that they missed an opportunity to put other bots in there from other series. Like I said, there's some series that are not represented. You know, they do a lot as far as like games that were important to the PlayStation in the early days and games that are more important to the PlayStation now. Like I totally get that. You know, like the Helldivers came out in February 2024, and this game, Astro Bot, came out in the fall. So like what, September? So like the same release year, you've got Helldivers represented, which is cool. But you know, some notable omissions here and there. But I mean, overall, you know, if you go through and look at all the characters in there, you'll find a lot to love about their selection. You'll find a lot of bots that bring back a lot of good memories, and yeah, pretty much all I got to say about Astrobot. And actually, Ashley has started playing Astrobot as well. She's through the first galaxy, but she's not super happy about playing platformers, but I think that Astrobot is cute enough to where she is enjoying the game enough. Like the whole presentation and the graphics and the characters and everything, and the cute little animals that have been like Astrobot eyes, like with the little blue digital eyes. She loves all that. Platforming, she can kind of grit her teeth through, but she's also been playing Astrobot as well.
Motherfucker.
Whoa.
Sorry. No, I just lost 65 grand.
What?
Let me explain that.
I hope you're talking about your 401k and not like you're gambling.
I was gambling, but I did a championship parlay in which I chose the championship team, and if they all hit, I would have won 65 grand.
Oh, okay.
And
You really didn't put out 65 grand, but you could have gotten 65 grand. I get where you're going.
yeah, sorry. Let me clarify that. Yeah, so Eagles just lost, so that's
Oh,
gone.
they did the 49ers held on, huh?
Yep. I to pick to win every championship. I said the Colorado Avalanche for hockey, the Dodgers for baseball, the Eagles for
NFL.
football, and I forget the fourth. What sport am I forgetting right now? Baseball.
College.
No, major sports. Football.
Basketball.
And basketball. I said the Knicks. So.
Are they still in the playoffs?
Well,
The playoffs have not started for the NBA. This not even All-Star break yet.
Ah, okay.
yeah.
It shows you how much I pay attention to.
Yeah,
to
the
basketball.
hockey and basketball end in June, so
Okay.
this is the one that was pressing. Anyway, all right. So I have been playing a lot of games this week. I finished up my new game plus on Ghost of Yotei. Been playing a lot of Rogue Company to get to 25 hours. I did 2 gaming sessions on PSN profiles today, and knocked out 6 hours in the last 2 days. So I think I'm down.
I mean, that's pretty good.
I think I'm down to just needing 8 hours. Got my 2 jumping plats. I jumped some churros.
Jump some churros.
Found out that June 6th is National Churro Day. Did you guys know that?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what. If you don't get some kind of a jumping churro platinum on National Churro Day, then I'm gonna be highly disappointed in you.
Well, I would have to go to another region because I got all my churro trophies already.
Well,
Even the turbo version?
Yes, I did the normal version and the turbo version today.
well, you better make it happen, or we're gonna be highly disappointed in you.
I started playing Cup Heroes, which is a mobile game that they ported over to the PlayStation.
Okay, what is it about? Is it hockey, or what kind of game is this? Is it coffee cups, drink cups, beer cups?
The only way to describe it, it's a side scroller that you fight, but you don't control it. It's an auto fight, and every enemy you kill drops a ball, which gets put into a cup, and then after every fight or every other fight, you go into this like little mini game in which you have to drop the balls down through multipliers, and then you get more. You get more balls, and then after that, you buy an upgrade to make your character stronger, and then it goes. I'm explaining it badly, but it's a really stupid game, but it's somewhat addicting in the same.
Kind of sounds like Johnny Trigger that I played a couple last year or 2 years ago.
I don't know Johnny Trigger, but it's 100% a mobile game that got ported over. I only started playing it because I saw like a Facebook ad one day and downloaded the game and tried it, and I was like, yeah, this is fun. But then I stopped playing it on mobile, and I was like, so this one I just sit here like when I'm watching Netflix, and I just because you could literally play the game with like one hand, like played a lot of Arc Raiders. Getting into that, you guys need to play that game. I think you would really enjoy it. And in our first couple stories, I think we might even pull Yield in to start playing it.
Don't know.
And then the game that I really been playing, which I'm really enjoying, is Dispatch. I just finished the 5th chapter. There's 8 chapters total. In order to get the platinum, you have to play the game twice. I'm really enjoying it. Each chapter, or each episode, I should say, takes approximately an hour to beat. So
that's not bad.
Yeah, so you can get in there. The humor is great. The only thing that I'm struggling with right now is actually dispatching the heroes because I'm very bad at sending which hero to which crime to stop. But there is a guide that helps you with that.
So what you're saying is you're bad at your job.
Yes. Okay. I'm not bad at my job, but like
if you're not sending the right hero to the right crime, then you're a bad dispatcher.
Well, there's a learning curve with it for one.
Okay.
And 2, it's not that I'm failing the dispatching. It's that so you dispatch an enemy or a hero to a crime. They go out, and whether or not they have the right skills is whether or not they succeed at the crime, solving the crime.
So it's an auto fight, in essence.
Yes.
Okay.
After that, you click the button to get your rake in on the mission, and then that enemy goes back, and then once they're back, there's a period of which they rest. So, like, I have one hero called Flambe that he's immune to fire. So if I send him on like a house fire, he'd be the perfect hero to send on that mission because he can't be damaged. But there's a lot of times like I'll get a mission like that, but Flambe would be resting and I can't send him. So that's what I'm saying. Like I'm bad at choosing which enemy or which heroes to send at certain times because I always find myself in a spot where like this hero would be great to send, but he's resting. So it's not that I'm failing the missions; it's that I'm not sending the best character to the missions.
I got you.
Like I said, the humor is great. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's a game that I can find myself playing over and over again.
It's in my to pick up list because when I saw it, I forget how I saw about it. Something on Facebook, people talking about it, and I was like, "How have I not heard?" Or I saw a bunch of people on my friends list playing it. And
yeah, it's
Telltale. It should be good.
Well, it's not Telltale. It's made.
No, it's former Telltale.
Right. Former Telltale. So I like normally like when you see like in the trophy guy says, "Oh, you got to play this game twice or you got to play it 3 times." Like that kind of discourages me because I don't want to go through a game 3 times to get a platinum. But as short as the episodes are, and the amount that I'm enjoying this, I have no problem going back 2 or 3 times, 4 times if I got to play it, to get it. So
4 times a platinum.
So yeah, that is what I have been playing. Let's move on to our topics. I want to shout out to Matt. I know we're not in shout outs, but I want to give a shout out to Matt who not only put the agenda together, but put all the notes in here to help me because he knew that I wasn't going to be able to have time to read them. So thank you, Matt, for that. Our first topics are both going to cover Arc Raiders, and they're both coming from frvr.com. The first article says Arc Raiders devs do not want to, quote, foster, end quote, PvP with new feature as they are not the, quote, ethos of the game, end quote. Embark CEO Patrick Sutherland spoke with GamesBeat, explained that through confirmation of an aggression-based matchmaking system, the devs don't want PvP to be the sole feature. They don't want to add things like PvP leaderboard or a nemesis system, as it would be the antithesis of the game's core loop. He said the players aren't supposed to know if a rival player is friendly or not, and pushing PvP features ruins the balance, saying the game isn't solely about, quote, shooting other players, end quote. So, the developer, or the CEO, Elise, is saying, listen, there's a PvP aspect to our game, but we don't want to force that. We want people to go out and play and, have to question whether or not a player is, friendly or not. And, I think this is a good move by them. They're saying there is PvP, but that's not the purpose of our game. We don't want people going out there, putting up leaderboards saying, oh, well, if we put a PvP leaderboard, there are going to be people that are just going to go straight to try to get number one on the leaderboard or get up there. Alex, I'll go to you first. What do you think about this? The fact that they're not going to force a PvP within a game.
So, they clearly, to put forth all the time to make this game, I think that they had a vision for it, and they believe in kind of the way, like you said, the gameplay loop. And so you kind of have to stick with that because the game has been successful and it's gotten a lot of attention. And I think that you don't want to listen to the really loud voices. Don't shut down. You got to listen to your audience some, but when you look and you see other games, because there's plenty of other examples of multiplayer games out there, and you see things in those games that can be potentially toxic or go against what you believe the core of your game should be, you should stand up and say, regardless of if there's a segment of the audience that wants that, you should be like, no, we're going to stick to what we do and what we built this game for. Because the people who just want leaderboards, the people who just, they'll jump in and out of games. They'll jump in and out of communities, and there's always new games to play. But the people who enjoy the gameplay loop that you have in the game, those are the people who are going to stick around. And so you built the game, you believed in it, you got off to a good start, so you kind of have to stick to that because you don't want to change the vision for your game just because you're expected to be like other games.
All right, Yield.
Not playing the game and not knowing how it's set up, I can't really give a definitive opinion. But I agree with what Alex is saying about, this is how we want our game. They want to keep the element, I feel, just by listening to what you were reading, that they want to keep the element of surprise or tension of, is this teammate going to screw me or not? Or if you have PvP, unless you're running with people you're just going to treat everybody as an enemy. So that's just my feeling from what I've heard about the game. So,
all right, just to clarify, there's no friendly fire, so your teammates can't turn on you. So you can't, if you're going in a match, you can't just drop from the team and all of a sudden take out your teammates. It's finding other players out in the wild. So, just anybody that didn't play the game knows that. So if me and you Yield, we load into a mission, for that mission, at least, we can't turn on each other.
We can't shoot each other.
Right. Friendly fire is not a thing in this game.
So anybody you run into, just kill them.
Anybody out there that's not me or you, we can fire on, they could fire on us, and there's no warning system. You could literally be extracted, and all of a sudden somebody just starts taking you out, and it's happened. I see videos.
I believe it. That's why I if I ever go for the platinum in division, I will be a coordinated event
Of the Dark Zone.
of the Dark Zone, because nothing. I mean, I get the tension that it's trying to build, but nothing would tick me off more than getting railroaded by somebody that's all they're doing is just mopping people up in the drop zones or extraction zones.
Yeah,
that would just annoy me.
Yeah, that happens quite a bit. I mean, I would say as far as the dark zone goes, you don't find that too often. I mean, you find it often enough, but you don't find that too often where a group of 4 people is just murking a solo division agent. And at least in the division, like somebody's going rogue, they have to hold down a button, and it signifies if somebody in the area went rogue. So you're not just like totally surprised. Arc Raiders is just like straight, like there's no warning. You could be just running down an alley, and all of a sudden just you're getting lit up. So that's the difference. But more Arc Raiders news here. The CEO also said future updates should expand, quote, the trade-in part of the game, end quote, to be more social, as Embark focuses on, quote, the long term. In the same interview, Sutherland explained that developers are looking forward to investigating things like player trading and other social-focused elements. Sutherland said trading is one of the first things we'll look into, as currently the only way to trade is to have players bring them into a match and drop it for their friends. Trading is fun, and so the devs want to focus on fun things to improve the game and the player experience. So again, he's fostering, the social aspect of the game. Again, another thing I think is good, as far as game development goes. Yield, I'll go to you first, and then we'll go to Alex.
I've never really gotten trading. It's never worked for me in video games, so I'm not against it because I know there's a community out there for that, but it's just not my thing.
Well, okay. I again, since you didn't play the game, let me explain it to you. Okay, so if you go out on a mission and you have a backpack, you have this gun, you have these bandages, or you have this quest item you need, and you die in the match, you lose all of it. So if me and you were going on a mission, you say, listen, I don't have a Luton Mark III. I could literally drop into the match with you, drop you a Luton Mark III, and then now you have everything you need to run the mission as if you were just doing it before. So there's an aspect of the game that makes you lose everything if you die, whether you die from another raider or you die from an arc or whatever the case may be, or the nuke went off, whatever the case may be. So now this is set. He's saying I can send you the items before we launch into the mission. Instead of us launching a mission, me have to go into my inventory, drop it, you pick it up, and then establish your loadout there. So, I like it because I was fighting. What were they? I forget what they're called. They're not seekers, scanners. Scanners. I was trying to take down scanners, but the problem with a scanner in the game is you shoot it, and then all it signifies the other three arcs that all launch in to come after you. So if you don't kill quick enough, you're gonna be bombarded with 3 different arcs that are all targeting you. So I played with Matt. He was able to help me take it out, and then I could pick up the part and go. So that was cool. Alex, your thoughts on trading?
I don't really partake because really none of the games I play allow you the ability to trade, and quite frankly, there could be systems in place to protect you from this, but I'm kind of wary of trading with other people who I don't know because you never know if somebody's trying to screw you over to benefit themselves. So, Rocket League is probably one of the only examples of games that I played that had trading. Of course, trading was taken out a long time ago, and now you still have players that every single video they post or every season trailer, they're like, bring trading back. People still complain about the fact that Rocket League doesn't have trading. So I guess, don't have any experience with it, but implemented the right way, I think trading is fine.
Yeah, as far as upgrades go, if you trade, willing to trade with somebody you're in a group with, or somebody you know.
And if to be honest, like for these companies that make these games, to have people have to oversee these systems or to create systems to make sure trades are completely one way and one side's getting screwed. Yeah, I mean that takes extra work. That takes probably extra hands on deck. So, I mean, to take it out, it just kind of makes things easier. But there is a community out there in certain games with loot and comic items and stuff like that where they would really like to have trading, and trading is a massive part of Pokemon. So, I mean, just some games it can be built into really easily. You just kind of have to test the systems in place to protect everybody from the trade market. Now, if you see what you're getting and you trade something and you do like a lopsided trade when you can see what you're getting, I mean, that's on you. But a lot of times, there has to be a way to make sure that people aren't just going to go on there, because it ruins the experience. If you trade away something good and you get something shit back, I mean, it's going to, you probably are like, I don't want to play this shit anymore. Or I at least don't want to engage with this part of the game.
All right. Moving on, in the story that we kind of all seen coming for years, GameStop is closing a lot of their stores. As recorded on gsclosing.blogspot.com forum, January sees GameStop closing around 435 of their U.S.-based stores. Cutting into their approximately 2,325 U.S. stores, this is a significant chunk. The article doesn't go into why the stores are closing, but I think we all know why. Yield, are you sad to be seeing GameStop's close?
Yes and no. I mean, I frequent GameStop for quite a while, and then when there was no reason to go there, I haven't, and I don't think I've been in one in probably 2 or 3 years. So, while I understand everything's moving towards digital, it's still sad to see that that type of store is getting small, or that genre of store is getting small.
Yeah, but I mean, it seems like GameStop did this themselves, Yield, because you said despite the fact that you still like to buy physical, you don't go to GameStop anymore.
No. They 100% have done it to themselves. They bought up all their competition and have gone to overstock their stores with
Shit.
junk. Yeah, I mean, there are some neat knickknacks. I ain't gonna lie. I've walked in there and been like, oh, cool. I didn't know they made some video game stuff like this. But there's also just a lot of junk, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't feel bad that they've done it to themselves. I just feel bad for, like I said, the brick and mortar stores of that.
Yeah, I'm not happy with the fact that people are losing their jobs, but we kind of all see this coming.
Well, yeah.
So.
I mean, they've not treated their consumer base well and their employees well, depending on who you talk to.
Yeah, I think the fact that we can buy games digitally and the laziness of people like, I don't want to go to the store, I'll just download it digitally. I think that was kind of writing on the wall, GameStop, and them doing what they could do, pulling in, selling pops and figurines and statues and stuff like that. I think it was a desperate attempt, but I think the writing was on the wall. Once games were available digitally, I think GameStop was, doomed.
Well, they just didn't change. They didn't change. They just stayed with what they were doing.
Right. So, Alex, your thoughts on GameStop's closing?
So I was trying to look through this list. Okay. Yeah. So this list came out on New Year's Eve?
Approximately, I think so.
So yeah, I mean, I had originally thought, and maybe I was looking at the wrong list, that it was going to be, that in my state of Kentucky there were only going to be 4. But now that I read that, there is a much larger list that includes a mix of larger areas, more metropolitan areas, and also smaller like college towns. Like, let's see if I can get to the list here. So where is this? Come on, y'all. That's right. Indiana comes before Kentucky. Like,
you got Alexandria, You got Alexandria, Bray, Campbellsville, Danville, Florence, Harlan, Hazard, Hopkinsville, Lawrenceville, Louisville, Moorhead, Nicholasville, Paducah, and Paintsville.
Paducah, but yeah, you missed Berea, which is a small college town in Kentucky. But yeah, a lot of them smaller towns, smaller cities. But really, you also have one in there. The two biggest cities in Kentucky are Louisville and Lexington, and there on Southland Terrace is one in Louisville. So you have most of them being in smaller markets and smaller cities, but you do have one in your largest market in the state, which is Louisville. So, I mean, none of the listings on here are near me. So, well, near me as there is one in the same city, but the ones that I had the opportunity to go to or the closest to me, those are not closing. But I mean, Tricky mentioned them all in just my state. I mean, this is a massive amount of stores closing. So I don't think anyone, I mean, for the longest time, being someone who at one point shopped at GameStop and just doesn't enjoy that shopping experience and how they have tried to change around their business model to be more modernized or to where they can be more profitable because their old business model just doesn't work anymore. You know, one, you don't really want people to lose their jobs, but just shopping at GameStop's not a great experience. And a lot of times it's just kind of, I don't know, there's just a bunch of crap in there. There's some games, but there's a lot of crap. And I feel like the atmosphere of going into like an independent shop that just in your own city is a lot better because GameStop just it's corporate. Yes, I understand, but it's too corporate. You just go in there and it's just not great. You don't want to root for them. They don't feel like the little guy. You know, bookstores are one of those things that started to die out, and then like you still have some brick and mortar bookstores, but Barnes and Noble, which was a bookstore that kind of a lot of smaller bookstores, you know, went out of business because big stores like Barnes and Noble came in or succeeded, and now like that's kind of like one of your last vestiges of, you know, a chain retail bookseller. You know, GameStop, you just don't feel the same way. Like if it's like, oh, Barnes and Noble is like closing all these stores, you would be like, holy shit, I feel terrible about this because people still want print books, they still want hardcover books, you know, and they still want to go to a bookstore. With GameStop, it's like, yeah, like you don't want to say yay because people are losing their jobs, but you want to be like, yeah, fuck GameStop, I hate GameStop. Like as a company, it's just has been so hard to root for them. So no one can be surprised by this. GameStop's death has been long coming, and it's been really kind of slow. They've managed to slow the bleeding a little bit, but there's just, as a company, they've kind of lost, and they're just kind of grasping right now. And you know, I'm not shocked that this is happening. So
yeah, surprising
I used
is
to, like when I was in high school or you know in college, like GameStop was the dream job. Like if you played video games, that was the place you wanted to work, and it was always hard to get a job there. And like now you go in there and it's like one employee. There's like one employee there at a time, and it's just like, man, this got to be bleak in here. Like it can't be fun.
I've worked at GameStop.
When did you work there?
20 years ago? Oh, no. It's got to be over 20 years ago. Maybe almost 30 years ago? No. Can't be 30 years ago.
When were you in high school?
No. This was after high school. I had it as a second job, and I got fired after like 3 months because I lost a credit card receipt. Yeah. They didn't lose money. I just lost a credit card receipt and I got fired for it. And surprising, there's not one in my city that's hitting closed, which is surprising because there's 4.
I mean, is it really? Like, do you like?
There's 4.
How many in your immediate visit? Because like New York obviously is the largest market in the country. So
well, they're closing 30 in New York, but they're closing none in Manhattan and none in Queens. Brooklyn's affected, the Bronx was affected, but not in Staten Island where I live. Closed, and there's 4 on the island. So that's
well, as GameStop closes more and more stores, the smaller markets, like I said, college towns and stuff like that, places like Berea, Hazard, Kentucky, those are going to be the first casualties, and you're going to find like the big cities are going to be the places where the last holdouts are going to be.
yeah. But Staten Island is the smallest of the 5 boroughs, and You could literally drive across Staten Island in less than 30 minutes, depending on traffic. Traffic in Staten Island sucks. But yeah, you could literally drive across Staten Island in 30 minutes. And there's 4 of them. I can get to all 4 in under 30 minutes. So, I don't know. I just found it weird. Moving on.
I mean, even if you know GameStop eventually is going to go out of business, like that number is just shocking. How many stores they got to close?
I was looking at the list. You didn't hear me say. I said there's 2 in my immediate area shutting down.
Are there?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't hear you say that.
Yeah, no, because I was over looking at the list when I said it. But yeah, I was looking at the list. There's 3, 2 that I used to frequent because the one I used to live in that town. The one that's near me that I frequent a lot is shutting down. So that one's surprising me because I figured if of any of the ones closing, it wouldn't have been that one. It would have been the other one that's staying open.
No. And I'm pretty sure this is a growing list, so we'll have to check back with it. Moving on to our next topic, coming from thegamebusiness.com. Nintendo 2 Switch 2 sales have stumbled over Christmas. In the latest video from the Game Business, host Christopher Dring discusses the lackluster Nintendo sales this holiday season. Coming from the fastest selling launch of 3.5 million units in just 4 days, sales for the console were down this holiday. Analysts estimate the sales of Switch 2 during the holiday were down by 35% over the same time period for the Switch 1 when it launched. In the UK, Switch 2 sales for the last 8 weeks are 16% lower than the Switch 1 during the same period. However, not all is gloomy, as adding the Switch 1 sales to the data this year, the number of Nintendo devices sold in November and December was up 7% compared with the same period in 2017. The outlier was in Japan, where Switch 2 sales were up 11% compared to the launch of Switch 1. Some theories are the lack of mainline proper IPs to go along with the launch. So there's 2 parts of this conversation. One, we already reported that PlayStation and Sony took the holiday market, so this wasn't a surprise. Also, the point that I'll point to you guys and for discussion is we've talked about, when a new console comes out, if there's nothing to play on it, there's no reason to buy it. Do you think the lack of proper Nintendo IPs for the Switch 2 is hurting their sales?
Well, the Switch 2 was bundled with Mario Kart. Like, their best-selling franchise was bundled with the Switch.
Right, but there's no other mainline IPs that came out with it.
I think there's a Donkey Kong game. There's a Pokemon Legends game. They've announced a Mario Tennis game.
Yeah, but
there's Metroid Prime 4.
But are those Switch 2 exclusive, or were they also available on the Switch 1?
I mean, they're all. I'm pretty sure. I don't know about Legends, the Pokemon game, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, you can't buy Donkey Kong Bonanza for the Switch 1. You can't buy Metroid Prime 4 for the Switch 1. Like, those are Mario Kart World, Mario Kart World is to the Switch 2. No, you can't even, because I was trying to buy Split Fiction for Ashley on the Switch. I was looking for ways to buy that for her for the holidays. That's only on Switch 2. You can't buy that for the original Switch. So,
okay, I'm legit. I don't know whether or not to. Nintendo Switch 2 editions. Just trying to see if there's anything in here.
Here, you look in the background, Tricky. I mean,
yeah, do you think?
Let's be real about this. The PlayStation 5 has been out for a while. It's now on its downward trajectory. There's whispers of the PlayStation 6, leaks and stuff like that. And for the holiday season, they beat out the new Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch, which, by the way, is, I don't know how it ranked up to the sales that went up to the PlayStation 5, but as far as cost goes, but you have a newer console out. The successor to the wildly popular Switch, and it's widely available. There's not been a time when I haven't gone to a local Target and seen a Switch 2. Every time I go into a Target, I can buy a Switch 2 if I want one. So the fact that they got beat by the PlayStation 5 over the holiday season, when you have a game packed in and you have a newer console speaks pretty damning volumes about the Switch 2. Because one, here's the thing: either one, it's too much, and people don't want to pay for it. They don't want to pay that much for it. Or two, they don't want to play the games that you put out. There's the only two things it could be. Because during the holiday season is when like that item, a console, is a hot gift. That's why you always see them come out closer to the holidays, and why you see pack-in bundles and deals during the holidays is because that's when people are more likely to buy them.
All right.
So the fact that the PlayStation 5 outsold it is, I think it says a lot about what people view the Switch, how people view the Switch 2.
All right. So, looking on Nintendo's website, and this is Nintendo 2 Switch Editions, which means there was a Switch version of the game. Just the mainline IPs. There was Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. There was Mario Party, Super Mario Party Jamboree, which came out physically and then later digitally. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Pokemon Legends was a Switch game. And then all the digital games that they released. And then Donkey Kong. That's it. And Metroid 4 Prime, which was also a Switch game.
Wait, Metroid Prime 4 was available for the original Switch?
Yes.
Oh, Alex knows what he's buying.
No, I'm not. I don't.
Oh.
I'm not a huge fan of Metroid, but I'm just surprised.
Okay.
I'm shocked that game would come out on.
Animal
because they
Crossing.
already put Metroid Dread out on the Switch. There was a Metroid game for the Switch, so I'm surprised they would make it compatible for both.
And coming this month, in 4 days, is Animal Crossing New Horizons. Dispatch is coming out at the end of the month, and then sometime in the spring they're releasing Mario Brothers Wonder. But all those were already available on the original Switch. So.
Well, Donkey Kong Bonanza was not. They had Donkey Kong games on the original Switch, like Donkey Kong Country Returns HD or whatever,
Oh,
and
no,
then they
I'm
had Tropical Freeze, but
I'm sorry, I misspoke.
Bonanza's definitely not on the Switch.
No, I misspoke. I apologize. I misspoke.
No, you're fine. But like, Jamboree is $20. I think it's $20 more on the Switch too. So why wouldn't you just buy it on the original Switch?
Well,
why would you spend $20 more on the same game?
I think that's the part that I'm trying to get into is the fact that like there's nothing on the Switch 2 that would entice somebody to go out and buy a Switch 2.
Well, there is, because people have bought the Switch 2. I mean, it had a hot start, but now that you've got those initial adopters who wanted to buy it right away, the Matts of the world, and that's not shade at Matt, but I've got coworkers who bought it right away. Now that those people are done, it's everybody else. The console's been widely available, and now it's everybody else and who wants it. And we have just been, over the course of our lives, trained to expect Nintendo consoles to cost less. They're less powerful. They're not as impressive technically. So yeah, you can expect to pay less for these consoles. And then now all of a sudden it's $450, $500 with the bundle. And I'm like, well, I'm not paying that much for a Nintendo console, because I don't think that I should. It's like when you go to buy eggs and you've been growing up your entire life expecting eggs to be, under a certain price, and you see $8, $9 cartons of eggs. It's like, what?
All
What?
right. So the following list is the games that are available for the Switch 2 only, were not available for the Switch by Nintendo. Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, the Nintendo 2, the Switch 2 Welcome Tour, Mario Kart World, Drag plus Drive, the GameCube Classics, Kirby Air Riders, and coming later is Mario Tennis Fever, Pokemon Pokepia, Yoshi and the Mystery Book, Fire Emblem, and Splatoon Raiders, which doesn't have a release date. So those are your only Nintendo IPs that came out for the Switch 2. Is that enough to get somebody to buy a Switch 2? That's the question that I'm having. Yield, what do you think? Is that enough?
No, you need to have a decent launch title when you launch a console. So I believe that's a good reason as to why. But I really think that I kind of think maybe I'm wrong, but I think that with inflation the way that it's been, coupled with the fact that you didn't have a launch window, or not a launch window, but you didn't have exclusives for your game, for your system, your launch system, it's not a good recipe. Because there's no reason. Everybody, the Switch sold, like hotcakes. So you've already got a Switch. And you've already said that there were a lot of games that are on both consoles. So Nintendo hasn't made it to where this is a Switch 2 exclusive. If you want to play it, you need to get a Switch 2. They haven't done that yet. So, on a lot of their games. So, you can stay pat. There's no reason to get a Switch 2 unless you just wanted one.
All right.
The problem is that Mario Kart was their best. Like, that was the best thing they could have launched with, and they did, and we're still here right now having this conversation.
You say that, but you don't think a proper Mario title would have been better?
You can go look at the sales numbers, but I'm pretty sure Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was the best-selling game on the original Switch. You can check me on that. I mean, like, if you want, but like the Mario Kart is there. There's a reason they led with that, and so
I don't. I think not having a mainline Mario game hurts. Mario Kart may sell better, but it's Mario is a staple of Nintendo, and I think it's a staple of a launch game for Nintendo. Yes, you came out with a Mario
Kart. Do you
Kart.
remember that they launched the GameCube with Luigi's Mansion?
But still, okay. That's not a mainline
Mario game than Mario Kart.
Okay, that's not a mainline game, but at least it's in the. I don't know.
Here, look up sales. Look at the best-selling Switch games. But
okay.
I think that part of the problem is that if you already owned a Switch, and there's a lot of us out there who own Switches, I have a Switch. They've given clearly not a lot. They have not given a lot of people a reason to upgrade to the Switch 2.
Just the top 10 of Switch games. Going from 10, Super Mario Brothers Deluxe sold 18.5 million. Super Mario Party sold 21.2 million. Tears of the Kingdom 22.1. Pokemon Sword and Shield 26.9. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet 27.6. Mario Odyssey 29.8. Breath of the Wild 33.3. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate 36.9. Animal Crossing Horizons 48.6. And Mario Kart Deluxe 69.5.
So you're telling me Mario Kart did what, twice as many at least of Odyssey?
3. I would yeah, just over 2 times as much.
Yeah, and double what Super Smash Brothers did. Like, so yeah, the best thing you could lead with was Mario Kart.
I'm not arguing that point. I'm just saying I think not having a mainline Mario game hurts them right now. Because I think there's a lot
potentially, but you look at Nintendo though. It's like you're going to release a Mario Kart and a Donkey Kong, and you're going to put a Metroid out. You got to save something. You can't just put out the Mario game and then the Zelda game. Like, they have to have something saved for the back. Because what else? And you get to a point where it's like, well, shit. I guess we got to have F-Zero and Star Fox. Because what else are we going to put out?
All right. We're beating this horse to death. So.
Although I will say that I think that there is a belief, and I don't think it's happened yet, but I think there's a belief that there is a Nintendo Direct coming up, and I think that one of those beliefs is that Luigi's Mansion 4 is going to be revealed.
Hold on.
Very possibly in the near future. I don't want to say the near future, but if they release Mario or Luigi's Mansion 4, then that might be. There are a few games that would entice me to buy a Switch, and that would probably be one of them.
Okay, there's no announced Direct yet, but there is a rumor that one is coming very soon.
And yeah, I think one of the headliners, or at least the headliner, might be Luigi's Mansion, but we'll see about that. That's just based on rumblings, so.
All right, let's throw it over to the Facebook page.
Time to check my social media, yeah.
All right, we have a lot of questions from Mr. Thomas, and we have one question from Mr. JP, who sucks as a Devils fan. Let's go through the Thomas questions first. Games that promise to add multiplayer to the game later on, but don't end up doing good, should they be able to be sued or at least given your money back? So a game that was promised to have multiplayer and never came, should you be able to get your money back or should you be able to sue the developer? Yield, we'll ask you first. I think he's going along with the false advertising aspect of it.
Yeah, I part of me wants to say yes because you were led to believe, if you bought it because you thought it'd be a fun multiplayer, you were led to believe that no. I guess I would to be firmly yes or no, I guess I would need to know is you get a single player experience out of this. If you did, you can complain about it, but you paid for a single player experience. Which if they say they're going to bring one, then I would guess that you got a single player experience. So in that realm, no, not really, because it was something that they were going to add on, and if sales didn't go well or funding never came through, then you're not getting it. So it was just kind of like, DLC or something, which kind of happens. So okay, so in that instance, I'm gonna go with no.
All right, Alex.
So that would open the gate to developers promising things and never delivering them, which then it's like, hey, you all said this was going to be released as part of the game and it never came. Then you could take that as anybody who says anything is coming to the game and they don't deliver that, you could sue them for it. So I believe there have to have been instances where, and Tom's question, this had to come from somewhere, but there have to be instances, even though I can't think of them, of developers promising something that wasn't delivered and you didn't see like a massive lawsuit, or at least I can't remember any. So
I can think of two off the top of my head.
Okay, what were those?
One was,
go ahead.
One was Uncharted 4. We were promised DLC, which then spawned off into being Lost Legacy. But I believe people got Lost Legacy for free if they bought the season pass.
Correct.
And then the other one is The Last of Us 2. We were promised a multiplayer with that, which spawned off into being factions, which ultimately got canceled.
The legal teams for these companies are way too good for something like that to fall through the cracks. Like, there's got to be something in like licensing agreement or the small print that none of us read that
tell you your SOL
that protects them. So, I mean, I think that you should buy, because we've seen like there's been planned DLC for games that fell through that never happened because sales for the game weren't good enough, and they're like, well, why are we going to continue to support this game if it didn't reach our sales goals?
It just happened with Assassin's Creed.
What's that?
It just happened with Assassin's Creed. They were planning another DLC, and then they came out and said they're not making the second DLC for it. I forget the reason why, but they said we're going to get the content. It's just not going to be DLC for Shadows.
Yeah, and then there's like stuff like, what was it? I hate to do this to you, Tricky, because I know you're going to get offended, but the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. They were planning how many seasons of content afterward, and how quickly did that fold?
Okay, so just to defend it here for a second, Rockstar, I think they promised a total of 12.
9?
I think it was 12 DLC characters they promised. And yes, okay. So yes, they failed on that promise, but I think you have to look into the fact that the game was failing as the reason why we didn't get those DLCs. Not that they didn't want to make the DLC. I think they saw the writing on the wall. They saw the game was failing. They said we could put our money and resources in other spots. So, yes, you are right. But I think the fact that the game was failing contributed to that.
Well, I mean, you could say that like they were planning to implement multiplayer, but the game was failing. So why would they then go to the trouble of implementing multiplayer if the game didn't sell as well as it did, or as they wanted it to?
I mean, that's a fair point as well.
So I mean, as far as like being a consumer, buy the game that they're releasing. You can hope for fixes and patches and stuff like that, but don't buy a single player game if they're promising you multiplayer later on if you don't want to play the single player.
And to be fair, I correct me if I'm wrong in the comments or whatever. I don't think factions was ever promised for The Last of Us 2. I think that was just speculation and rumors. I don't think Naughty Dog ever confirmed that there was multiplayer coming to The Last of Us 2. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think they was ever confirmed by Naughty Dog. I think that was just speculation and rumors. All right. Next question. Besides Killer 7, what's the weirdest game you've ever played? I don't even know what Killer 7 is. So we'll just...
It was for the GameCube. Like, it was a stylized... I don't know how to describe it, but I do remember it. I think that there were 7 different characters that you played as, and it was a GameCube era game. Yeah, I don't really remember a lot of it.
Killer 7 was a 2005 action-adventure game developed by Grasshopper Manufacturer and Capcom and published by Capcom for the GameCube and PS2. The game follows an elite group of assassins called the Killer 7. The assassins, physical manifestations of a man, Harmon Smith, perform hits on behalf of the United States government. Through these missions, the Killer 7 uncover a deeper conspiracy regarding the role of Japan in U.S. politics and secrets about the nature of their organization. It's a first-person shooter. So, okay. So we'll just go to the question: what's the weirdest game you've ever played? Alex, you go first.
Weirdest game I've ever played.
That's a good question because I'm sitting here trying to think of what the weirdest game was I ever played.
I want to say Rocket Bird's Hard Boiled Chicken was pretty weird, but was that the weirdest game I've ever played?
No, I guess it's weird. I enjoyed that.
Well, I wouldn't say it's weirder than here. Tricky, let me go back and look through my
Well, you got to go back to like Nintendo days and stuff like that too.
Yeah, but I can't really think of anything that
All right, while you're thinking about it, Yield, what's the weirdest game you've ever played?
I mean, if we're gonna go way back, I don't want to throw Barnstorming under the bus. I mean, that really wasn't a bad game. I mean, there was some weird NES games. I'm just not drawing.
I'm trying to remember the game.
I mean, as far as like a fighting game goes, Clay Fighter was a really weird game, especially when you got to the 64 edition, the Clay Fighter 63 and a third. And I guess maybe one of the games that I'll throw out there beyond that is just a really good game, but the premise was like as far as like just a weird out there premise. And of course, it was made by Double Fine, but Stacking, which was a game that was a puzzle game where it featured like Russian nesting dolls.
Yeah,
that was a weird game. Really good though, if you have a chance.
It was good. It was really good.
Yo, did you come up with an answer? Because I'm still struggling.
No, yeah, I'm kind of struggling.
Okay.
Like, there's nothing that sticks out of I guess I would equate weird with bad, but I guess there is weird with good.
I mean, you think about it, Plants vs. Zombies is a really weird game. I mean, Tower Defense isn't weird. There's a lot of those games, but having plants fend off zombies is very much a weird
concept. You can't go wrong with that. Having lawnmowers mow them over.
All right. This isn't a bad game, but just weird in the fact of like the character mashing up together. Poker Night at the Inventory.
Okay.
Wasn't bad, but just the characters they put together makes it a little weird.
Well, no, it's your weirdest game, not a bad game, just the weirdest game.
Yeah.
I would go with that, yeah.
All right. You seem to be struggling a little bit.
I am, because I'm just like I'm not. Like I said, I'm equating weird with bad, and I can't get my brain to switch. So,
Well, how about you, Yield? Did you ever play Biomutant? That's a pretty weird one.
I
no,
started
never
playing
played
that.
one.
I started playing that.
I have it though because I thought it sounded interesting, but that's weird, huh?
I think we got that free for Plus.
We did. I have it because there were several times I almost pulled the trigger, then I got it free. So,
All right, let's move on to the next question. Thomas says, if there was a game that came out with an add-on, regardless of when it came out, would you play? And then I asked him to clarify because he said add-on with 1D for ad, like TV ad. Then he clarified. He said, like, let's say The Last of Us came out with a new add-on for the game, or The Division had a new add-on, which they did decent recently. So he says, just basically, like, if a game hasn't put anything in years, and all of a sudden they release something for the game, does that now entice you to go play the game?
you're talking like DLC, or they added something free to the
Right.
game.
And I'm not talking.
What you're getting at?
And I'm not talking like Rocket League came out with new DLC or something like that. I'm talking like
No.
If Enslaved Odyssey to the West, whatever, just I'm throwing the game out there. We haven't heard anything about it from years. All of a sudden,
by the way,
all of a sudden they released some kind of like roguelike part of the game. Again, just throwing out an idea. Would that entice you to go back and play that game? And I'll say, just for clarification, just to make this a little harder, it's a game that you haven't previously played, but now because of the new DLC, it's enticing you to go back and play the original game with the DLC.
and you've never played it, or you have played it.
You've never played it before, or you've always been on the fence with it, but you're like, nah, I don't want it. Now all of a sudden, this new DLC or this new add-on is like, you know what? Now I'm going to probably give it a shot.
Well, so obviously on something like that, I would probably check to see what all the hoopla was about, and then if it intrigued me, there's a good chance.
Okay, Alex?
I am more likely to go back and play a game that I've played before that releases new DLC. One, because there might be new trophies, but in general, like with Dave the Diver, they release DLCs and there's not new trophies, and I still go back and play that. So if there's a game that I really, really enjoyed, and even if it's been a few years or 5 years since they released DLC, like if they released no new trophies and like new levels of bosses for Shredder's Revenge tomorrow, I'd turn on Shredder's Revenge in a heartbeat. That's definitely not going to happen because they've moved on to Marvel Cosmic Invasion. But if I've never played a game, there's not going to be any DLC or content released years later that's going to make me go back and play it. Like, I've got to play the original game first, and if I passed on the game for that long, don't get me wrong, I've gone back and played old games, or older games in hindsight, but for me personally, DLC is not going to get me it's not going to be the catalyst to get me to go back and play a game I've never played before. But if a game that I've played before and really enjoyed releases DLC years later, then yes, I would be inclined to go play that, depending upon a few factors, cost being one of them. But, if I really enjoyed the game, I'll go back and play it. If there's new trophies, then I'll go back and play it. So,
All right. Next question by Mr. Thomas. What is the food that you will only serve when friends come over, but you will not normally eat?
That doesn't happen.
You don't put something special out for your guest if you're not going to eat it yourself?
Yeah. If I ain't eating it, they ain't eating it. Then if they don't eat it all, I'm throwing it out. So.
All right, Alex.
could you repeat the question?
What is the food that you will only serve when friends come over, but you would not normally eat it?
I mean, there's definitely party foods, like appetizers and stuff that I would eat that I wouldn't have like on a regular basis. I don't know. Like, I don't really know how to answer that question. Like, we had a birthday party here at the house for me last year, 2024, not 2025. And, Ashley made like some pulled pork and stuff, some barbecue. Or I guess I should say pulled pork sandwiches, not barbecue. But we don't normally have that at the house. but we had it for guests because it was like an easy thing to make for a lot of people, and it went well with appetizers. So I don't know. I guess that it depends because when you have guests over, it's like you have to consider what they're allergic to, what they like to eat, and it's just kind of a hard, like, it's hard to answer that question.
I would say something along the fish realm because I don't eat fish at all. But like if I was having Alex over, I'd probably go out and get some sushi for him.
That would be good, or some beer battered cod.
Ooh, there you go.
We actually went out for lunch
guys
today,
just-
and I had some beer battered cod and shrimp.
You guys,
Lobster tail.
you guys disgust
Oh, I'm
me.
not buying lobster tail for a party, Yield. How much money do you think? How much money do you think I make?
Popcorn shrimp.
You think he's got tricky money?
Hey, I will indulge in a lobster tail. Matter of fact, that's the only reason I go to steakhouses anymore is when they have lobster tail.
I can tell you for sure that Tricky is not serving any lobster tail at any get-together.
You go to a steakhouse to eat lobster?
Well, I get steak and lobster, but yes.
My God. All right, moving on.
I said I get steak and lobster. The combination, oh, amazing.
That's like I took Sweet Mama D out to a steakhouse the other day, and she ordered the chicken.
Okay, and she's a teenager.
Yes, but you're going to a steak. Listen,
That's what they do, dude. For years, all right, for years. When my parents took us out to eat, all I would order was a hamburger. It wasn't until I don't know, when I got into high school where it was like, you know what, I get what Dad said all them years of try something you can't have at home. Where I was just like, well, but hamburger sounds good. That's what I want.
God dang it, Yield, stop ordering the hamburger helper at the Outback Steakhouse.
Right? So I understand what you're saying, but from her perspective as a young teenager, I get it. She likes chicken. Chicken's what she wants.
No. She said, "Can we go to a steakhouse?" And then she's looking over the menu, and she went, "I kind of want the chicken." And I'm like, "Okay, listen. I have no problem her ordering chicken, but you asked me to go to a steakhouse. We go to a steakhouse, and then you order chicken.
Well, who knows, man?
Maybe the
this
chicken
young
dish
generation is weird.
It could be that the chicken dish was really, really good. Maybe she's like, "Oh wow, this is chicken cordon bleu is going to be fucking spectacular." I don't know.
You know what? You know what? I'll even do it one better, and I'm not throwing shade at him because you guys all know I love this guy. We went to PAX one year, and when I go to PAX and I have quote unquote staff members with me, I always treat them to dinner.
Yes, he does. I can confirm.
So, one year, Luke and
in a fancy restaurant. I ain't gonna lie.
So, Troy and Luke go to PAX with me, and we go to Ruth Chris. Now, if you guys know what Ruth Chris is, it's a high-end steakhouse.
Okay.
Troy ordered the chicken.
I see. I'd have been getting me a steak.
Okay, now, I will contend that chicken, because I was so curious. It's like, I had to ask Troy for a bite of the chicken. The chicken was banging. Don't get me wrong. It was great chicken.
You're one of those people. You're like, I want this, but can I have a piece of your? Because can I have a piece?
It looks so darn good.
No.
Who goes to a steakhouse and get some chicken?
Hold on.
Can I have a bite of your chicken?
Hold on a second. I only asked him for the chicken because I was curious. I'm like, Ruth Chris is famous for their steaks. Like, how good can this chicken be? And it was damn good. But I asked him more out of curiosity than anything. It's like I didn't want his chicken. I just wanted to taste of it to see how good the chicken was. And the chicken was banging. But I'm bringing you to a high-class steakhouse, and you order the chicken. So, all right. Last question coming from JP. Do you guys feel there's been enough games to justify buying a PS5? There's another part to his question, but we'll go right there. Do you guys feel, as of right now, January 2026, there are enough games out there to justify buying a PlayStation 5? Alex,
For me, oh, okay, sorry, no, go Alex.
well, neither one of you guys are going, so you'll go first.
For me, yes, I'm if I am remembering correctly, it was I think last year. It wasn't last year; it was the year before, where I was like, that was my year. Or they announced a lot of games that I'm like, I want that. That was coming out, and I was personally excited for. Up until then, it was just a game here or a game there. So for me, yes, off of recent memory. Now, if I was to go back and look at the entire list of games launched, and I would circle what I picked up, maybe I would change my opinion. I mean, I can say that there have been a lot of games, especially digitally, that I've picked up. I've picked up the 5 version over the 4 version because that's, I don't own the game, so I'll play the 5 version of it. So if you talk like 5 exclusives, I would have to like investigate and see how many I have.
Okay.
Just going off memory, yes, it has been.
All right. Before I go to Alex, I have a qualifying question for you. If you buy a game, Yield, this is just for Yield.
Yeah.
If you buy a game, and with that one purchase, you get the 4 version and the 5 version, which version are you playing?
Digitally?
Yes.
I'm playing the 5 version.
Okay. All right, Alex, is there enough games to just justify buying a PS5?
Yes. Pretty simply, yes.
Okay.
Between what you get from Sony, what you get from third parties, indie games, there's a lot to play. And I think that since you can play a lot of your PS4 games on the 5, like having a digital 5 and being able to play a lot of PS4 games on my 5, like it makes it easy to step up to the next generation because I can play my older games and there's new games to play. And so I think that, yeah, absolutely. And like you said, Tricky, if there's a PS4 or PS5 version of a game, which one are you playing? I'm playing it on the PS5. I'm playing on the PS5 version. The only instance of where I would play the PS4 version of a game, well, I guess there might be a couple, but if there were some technical issues with one of the versions, like the PS5 version had technical issues, or like glitch trophies or something like that, then I would go for the 4 version.
Oh.
Or if for the sake of the rarity event, there were rare trophies on the PS4 version, then I would play the PS4 version. But, considering that trophy rarity is equal and, there's no major glitches or whatever, I'm playing it on the 5.
Okay, so a caveat to what I said. If it's not a collector's edition, but an edition that has more than one game on it, I'm playing it on the 4.
Okay. My answer to the 4 or the 5 version is totally like a tricky answer. I'm always going to play the 4 version because I'm hoping that there's an auto pop for the 5 version. And normally it doesn't go the other way. So if I plat the 4 version, there's a chance it auto pops for the 5 version. But do I think there's enough games for the justify the PlayStation 5? Yes, absolutely. Okay. And the other caveat to JP's answer was, do you plan on buying a PlayStation 6 at launch or waiting for enough games to make it worth the purchase? That's assuming that, the 6 launches with a weak category or catalog.
So every launch, I always walk into what the lineup is and what it's going to, not necessarily like the launch lineup, yes, but what's coming down the pipeline like a year or so down the road. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've said on the show before, like if it wasn't for the fact that Tricky was able to hook me up with getting a 5 when I could, I wasn't getting one because there wasn't the lineup at that time.
I think it's fair to say that both of you guys probably would not have gotten the 5 when you did if I didn't offer that. Well, Alex...
I can't speak for Alex.
Well, Alex actually didn't even buy his. Alex was bought as a surprise for him.
Yeah, I would have waited even longer.
I did offer it to Alex, and then Alex said no, and then I received a message saying, "Hey, I'll buy it." I was like, "Okay." All right. So, Alex, do you plan on buying the 6 at launch, or are you gonna wait?
No, I mean the appeal of buying a console at launch is really, for me, like it dissipated. Like if I got my hands on a PS2 or a PS3 on launch, that's the time when I would have done it back in my younger days when I'm more cognizant and have greater financial responsibility now. I can't imagine that there is a console unless it's like more cheaply priced. I don't, cheap is maybe the wrong word, but like the Nintendo Switch, I launched at a lower price, and that's one, given the right game, that I would have considered buying from day one. But when we're talking about consoles or upwards of, 400, 500, 600, $700, I'm just gonna wait, until there's games I want to play on, unless it's like one of my favorites. If they're like, hey y'all, Sly Cooper is coming out as the launch game for the PS6. I don't know. Like, I love Sly Cooper, and I know it has a lot of fans, but that may be one of the worst console launch picks you could make of all time. But even in that case, it's like, why do I want to deal? I just honestly don't want to deal with all the hubbub and all the pain in the assness of having to fight crowds, register, sit on websites to put something in my cart for checkout. I just don't want to have to deal with all that for the sake of just, buying a console. I'll just wait until it's widely available and I can walk into a store and buy it. That's just, I don't want to deal with all the hassle. And I can wait to play most things. Like, Ghost of Yotei, I want to play it, but I didn't buy it when it came in October. I'm sitting on that. I'm waiting to play that. Astro Bot, I waited a year to play. So, me, I can wait.
All right. We're gonna throw it across to.
And you.
I thought I answered already.
No,
Oh,
you
the
didn't.
6
You went
first.
to me. You went to me. You went to Alex.
Oh, do I really need to answer? I think you guys know the answer already.
We do, but you should at least answer.
Yes, I'm buying it on launch, pre-order and everything. And I say this, and I don't mean disrespect to anybody. I just feel like, as a PlayStation show, there should be a member of the show that has the newest and best tech. So yes, I will be buying it on launch, even if there's no games, just so I can come on the show and say, hey, these are the features of the 6 that are good and bad. So, and that's not shade on anybody. That's the way I feel.
I don't take it as shade.
All right. I forgot what button to press. Oh, it's this one.
Toe. Topic of the week. Well, fine then. Fuck you, Matt.
Matt's not even here, and you're still dissing him, Alex. Do you have any shame?
I mean, I can't stop you from playing the soundbite.
All right, topic of the week.
Apparently, I've been dissing Matt for the last year and a half, 2 years, however long we've had that thing going.
It's 6 months,
Has it only been 6 months?
I think.
I was going to say a year tops.
I think it's only been 6 months, honestly. All right, so this is gonna be a little controversial.
Yeah, unfortunately Matt's not here because I really wanted to hear what he had to say.
It's kind of ironic because this doesn't. Oh no. Anyway.
In essence, it does affect all gamers.
It does affect all gamers, but
because once you start down that path, and you'll hear it when we get there, it could go more than just Sony.
yeah. All right, Sony AI patent will see PlayStation games play themselves when players are stuck. Sony may be looking at a new AI system-based technologies as suggested by a new patent. Described as, quote, ghost player, end quote, it would see players having the ability to call down an AI-generated ghost version that would either play out part of the solution or maybe even the entire level. The article states one example could be a player stuck on a puzzle and they activate guide mode, which would display an AI-controlled Nathan Drake demonstrating the solution before the player did it themselves, whereas a complete mode would perform it themselves. Matt's thought. He says, guide mode sounds like a quicker, more accessible version of the guides already present in Sony games, where players can press the PlayStation button and watch videos of the solution. Also, it's no different than just looking up a guide. Complete mode is the concern here, especially for you trophy hunters. Will using an AI component pollute the trophy earnings, or will it be like games have done in the past, where if you activate something, it invalidates the ability to earn achievements or trophies? So, let's talk about guide mode. Alex, I'll go to you first. Does guide mode sound like something that you want, or this is going down a slippery slope?
And that's just guide mode is basically
Demonstrating it for you, not playing it for you.
Demonstrating how to do it. I mean, you can look up videos on how to do that. I don't have a problem with that. That prevents you from having to leave the game or your PlayStation to go look up something on your computer or your phone. I mean, I look up stuff on my phone all the time, so when playing Astro Bot, I had to look up how to find some of the bots. You know, I found most of the bots on my own, but some of them in like the game cleanup, I had to find with the help of a video from another user. So
Hey,
I don't have a problem with guide mode.
did you use the PlayStation ones on the PlayStation 5 or?
No.
Oh, yeah, those videos were very helpful. Show you exactly where they are. All right, yield guide mode.
So why I've never used hint mode on the PlayStation.
So you've never looked at the videos to say, oh, this is where this collectible is.
No, I do what Alex does. I pull up my phone, I look up a guide.
Okay.
Or I look up somebody who's done it. So that's just what I do. I'm not opposed to guide mode. I wanna poo-poo all over it, but I'm not opposed to it if especially if it's like something you can turn off. But if it's something that you go in and you're like, hey, I'm stuck, and you click it, and then they're like, dot, 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 dot. Okay, now it's gone. Now you do it. I'm not 100% opposed to it.
All right. Again, I'm not opposed to it because, like you guys said, you could very easily go look at the guide or hit the PlayStation button, and there's a video right there that shows you exactly how to do it. I'm not opposed to it. This just sounds like an easier way than having to hit the PlayStation button to look at a video and whatnot. All right, let's go on to complete mode. This is where you hit the button, and if it, say there's a boss you can't beat, complete mode would come down and beat that boss for you and potentially earn a trophy for you. Yield will go to you first. Complete mode, what's your thoughts?
I'm not okay with that. Absolutely not. I mean, look at a guide, look at guides, look at there. At some point, there will be people who post things that show you their trick of how to do it, and you can try to do that. Having AI do it for you, what's to stop somebody in essence for just playing the whole game that way? And I ain't even going from a trophy aspect. I'm going from just the fact of how can you enjoy the game that way? Creators have done story mode where the combat isn't as hard. So there you go. If we want to talk about the trophy aspect of it, if you can't do it, then you're just not meant to get it. And that's just how I look. There are plenty of games that I don't touch because I don't want to beat my head against a brick wall.
Like the Souls games.
Like the Souls games. I just, nope, that's not my thing. Not going to do it. So, yeah, I hate the term get good, because that's just, people use that to annoy other people, but it fits in this essence, or in this category, that if you can't beat the boss, you need to get better. You need to get good. And if you just can't do it, then you just got to hang your hat on, you know what? The developers got me on this one. And you move on.
All right, Alex, complete mode.
So I can see why something like this would be talked about and patented or protected or something like that, or the idea would originally be conceived. Because the other night, when Ashley's played most of Astro Bot by herself, but there was a section where she got really frustrated and she handed the controller to me, and I completed it for her and handed back to the controller, handed her back the controller, and she went on her merry way. I personally, again, everything is always optional. So from a company standpoint, I guess once you sell a game to somebody, do you really, like the developer, I can understand, like they care whether you play through the game, because if they really care about making that game and they really believe in it, they want you to get to the end. They want you to see the game they made. From the company publisher standpoint, though, once they've made their money, they've made their money, so whatever. But me personally, I wouldn't use anything like this. I don't think I think it takes away the enjoyment of besting the challenge of a game. I want to be able to do it myself, and if I can't do it myself, then hey, whatever. I can live with that. I can walk away from a game. I can walk away from a trophy list. I've done it before. We know that when I tried to play Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 3. But I do think that if they are going to implement something like this, absolutely turn off trophies, because there are some things that like disable trophies. Like, hey, you change your difficulty and your certain trophies are disabled, or you use cheats and trophies are disabled. I think that if you use guide mode, the trophies should be disabled.
You mean complete mode?
What? Oh, complete mode. Yeah, not guide mode, complete mode. Like if you use complete mode, the trophies that you would get for that are disabled.
Okay, Alex, I'm not trying to call you out, but could you not argue what you did with the Turtles games? Watching it play because you didn't want to play the game. Is that not the same thing as complete mode?
I forget exactly how that happened, but yeah, I mean, you could say that. I mean, I won't say like, how there was a workaround. How did I do that?
There literally was. You could watch the game play itself up until the boss fight, and then you had to do the boss fight by yourself. Otherwise, the trophy didn't pop. But you said that you used that because you weren't going to play that shitty ass game.
Oh yeah, because some of those games were just crummy as hell and awful.
Right, but
like and just brutally hard. But I mean, yeah, no, I see your point. Like if you look at that and say, hey, I'll actually use this and for this game,
and it's pretty much what complete mode is. I mean, at least in my opinion.
I get it.
So
I mean, it was there at my disposal. I wanted to play the old Turtles games. I would have wanted to have gotten 100%. And looking back on it now, like yeah, that does clash with me saying complete mode shouldn't be implemented to games. But I still stand by like I would not. I don't think complete mode should be in games, and I wouldn't want to use it. Now I said I used it in the Turtles games because yeah, at that point I was trying to get all the trophies. So you can point at me and say, hey, I actually did this. Yeah, I get it. Now looking back, it's like, no, I would like to be able to pick out games that I would want to play and enjoy enough to get through the challenge. But I mean, who knows? Maybe if that wasn't available in the Turtles game, I would have suffered through to get the trophies. But I took the easy road. So yeah, you can point at me and say I did that. But I still think that, like Yield said, it does take the enjoyment out of a game. Although in that case, with the Turtles games and the Tournament Fighter game that was god awful, it kept me from being super frustrated. So, but yeah, I mean, I get it. That's a good point.
Again, I'm not trying to call you out. I'm just
you could say a little bit hypocritical, but
again, I wasn't trying to call you out. I mean, I've done that in the past.
I mean, you can. I mean, it's fine. Like I used that kind of system before because it was there, and I was like, well, fuck, I want to get all the trophies, and I want to get past this shitty ass game. So, no, I totally understand. You can. It's fair. It's a fair criticism.
I don't think complete mode should be in games, but I will say a caveat that I think you guys would be somewhat on board for. If you use complete mode, it should disable the trophies because one of Matt's things says, is this going to muddy up the trophy hunters, community? Yes, I absolutely, because
that's already muddied up by spam trophies. There's already so much muddying up the.
Well, okay.
I mean, yes, would this make it worse? But there's already stuff that just muddies the.
Okay, well, that's a different argument because I would say even with the spam games, you're still doing something. A computer's not doing it for you. That's just because it's complete modes to me sounds like instead of me sitting there holding down the X on the jumping churros, the computer does for me. I can literally go and make a grilled cheese while it's doing it. But I would say that if you're going to do a complete mode, it should not be available on certain difficulty settings. Because, like Yield pointed out, developers put story modes in games that reduces the combat that lets you get through it. If you're on the lowest setting and you just can't beat a boss, maybe complete mode would help you get past that boss. But if there's a, if you're trying to play, say, The Last of Us, and you're playing on survivor mode, and you literally just can't get past this one seed because, you can't do the boss fight, complete mode should not be available at that point. Is that a caveat that you may or may not agree with, Yield?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. If you use complete mode, it disables trophies, or you can't use it above a certain difficulty. That would either be something Sony would set, but I doubt it because Sony's trying to be all inclusive, so they wouldn't set it. That would be something the developer could set. I was gonna say like Souls game. Like if you're trying to play a Souls game and you can't, you're going for the hardest difficulty and you can't do it. I
don't think the Souls games have difficulty settings, do they?
Oh, they don't. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't play them. You, Alex did.
Alex is the only one here who's got a Souls game platinum. So
yeah,
honestly, if the only one I've played is Bloodborne, and if Bloodborne had difficulty tiers, I probably would have thought about turning it down. But as far as I know, no.
I traditionally just on normal games. I always play on the lowest difficulty unless there's a trophy associated with playing on the hard difficulty.
Tricky.
Well,
I'm not surprised.
Well, no, it's not because I don't feel like I could beat it on a harder. It's because I want to go through the game and I want to enjoy the game. I mean, I've said this numerous times on the show. The reason why I don't have The Last of Us Platinum on the PS3 is because I did not want to play that game on survivor mode. I did not want to bang my head against a wall trying to pass something and muddy up my experience with that game. So
I don't have it because of the multiplayer.
Well, multiplayer is also another part of it. I didn't even go down the multiplayer path of it because I knew I wasn't going to get the platinum, because I wasn't going to beat Survivor. So, not that, I couldn't beat Survivor. It's just I did not want to...
Beat your head against the wall.
Right. So, typically I play games on... I'm not going to say the lowest setting. I mean, most times it is probably the lowest setting, but I don't go above hard.
If there's an easy and a story, you'll play it on easy.
Right. Like right now, how many hours I have in the Division. There's when you do story missions, there's story mode, there's easy, medium, expert, and challenging, and heroic. I'm playing on heroic. I'm playing on the hardest settings, but that's mostly because now I'm such a badass in the game that, the lower difficulties are like a cakewalk to me. So I played on the hardest setting just to...
For the challenge.
Right.
No, I get you.
But when I start the Division 3, I'm playing that game on the easiest mode until I start getting better gear and can, better myself.
See, I always start on whatever normal is. Whatever the game loads at. And if they have you pick your difficulty, depending on the description, I pick whatever description fits my playstyle.
Oh, did you guys know this? Because I think I knew this before, but I just recently found it again in the sentence. Do you know that you can set your PS5 up so when you load into a game, it automatically loads your preferred difficulty setting?
I did not know that.
Yeah, so if you go in to your settings, and I couldn't tell you off the top of my head how to find it right now.
So under system settings, obviously.
Somewhere, there's a way that you can set up your games. Like, if you always play your games with closed captions, when you load up the game, the system will automatically turn on the closed captions for you. It will automatically... It would automatically set up the difficulty, automatically set up your field of vision, all that stuff. There's different settings in there.
I may have to Google this because that would be kind of neat. Because that is closed caption is something I turn on in case I didn't hear something. I might be able to read it.
I do the same thing. I play all my games with closed captions, and especially when I did my new game plus of Ghost of Yote, I played with the Japanese voice actors through the new game plus, so I had the captions on so I could actually still follow the story.
So you knew what was going on.
Yeah, because I don't speak Japanese. Yeah, so
Hell, you barely speak English. Also, to be fair, we've heard you try to read off Japanese names, and man, yeah, you definitely don't speak Japanese.
yes. All right, so I mean, overall, I think there's good parts of this AI, bad parts. I think we all agree with that. Guide mode, I don't think we have a problem with. Complete mode, I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off.
No, so one of the things so Nitro sent this in our co-op group, albeit a little bit of a different version. I sent it into our group to be like, this might be a good topic of the week. What Nitro sent me is they said that the AI would basically study your game and then would play it as you would play it.
So if you're real shitty at it, it's going to fail all the time?
I don't know. But anyway, that didn't sit well with me. If you've probably listened to the show, you know my stance on AI.
Yeah, what's more egregious, the reliance on AI for this, or the fact that the game would play itself for you?
See, yeah, I already don't like Big Brother watching me as it is. I don't need my video game watching me as it is. So
you don't like Brother Eye?
No, I don't. No, I don't. It's bad enough they listen to me through my phone.
That was a Batman reference, just so we're clear.
Okay. But anyway, I kind of wanted to point that out. So either way, there are some good things that they're suggesting from this patent, and there are some things that I don't think they should touch. And ultimately, it's all going to be how they implement it. So, I could sit here and praise things, and I could sit here and be like, I'll be damned if I follow that. That's me.
All right. First, Ray, welcome to the stream. Glad you could pop in. All right. So as I was saying before, I think there's good things. Like we all agree that guide mode is fine. Like we don't really have a problem with it because we could just simply look up the videos or whatever on our phone or our computer or just hit the PlayStation button and find it. I think where we all stand is complete mode. It's a slippery slope, and there's got to be restrictions with it. Is that fair to say, gentlemen?
That is a fair summarization.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, if someone wants to get through a game and experience a story and they just have trouble, I don't mind if the game makers say, you know what, here is basically your fast pass to get through this, because again, it would be optional. Even using, like I said, like Tricky pointed out, technology, even with me taking use of technology to get through some of the games in the Cowabunga collection, to get the Platinum Trophy or to get all the trophies, I still think, that I wouldn't want this to be something that people leaned on. You should try. You should try to get through something, and you should, once you've gotten to a point, put the effort in, but once you've gotten to a point to where it's just like blatantly obvious that you're not going to get through it, you spent money on the game, you want to get through it, it doesn't harm me for you to use something like this. But like I said, I think there needs to be restrictions. Like if they had said like, hey, if you use the fast forward mode in Cowabunga collection, that's going to disable the trophy for that game, I would totally understand. And I think that would be fine. So I do think that there need to be restrictions, especially with the trophies, as if Sony is going to take trophies seriously and expect its users to take trophies seriously.
Just one more thought before we actually close out the show. What if they do complete mode where it plays the game for you, but they restrict it down to saying you can only use 10 minutes total for the entire game, or for that save file? That you can activate it, but it's only you can only use it for 10 minutes, and then the rest of the game is disabled. Would you be okay with that yield? And I'm just spitballing ideas out here. Like,
I know. I'm trying to decide if I'm okay with it or not. It's like my initial response is yeah, sure, but I don't want to be. So
you still want to rail against it.
so maybe I'll go with that. Maybe.
All right, Alex, would you be okay with a time restriction on complete mode?
I honestly don't. I mean, I would be fine with it, but I also think that if you're going to implement something like this, like maybe they restrict you. Like you can't just sit and play hours of gameplay. You have to like it's like the game will play for you for at most like a minute, and then like there's like I don't know if there needs to be a cooldown or something like that. But I honestly think that this wouldn't be implemented throughout an entire game. Like I think there would be certain points in the game that would be denoted as potentially difficult that this option would be made available. I don't think they would just give you the option to play through the entire game. So I don't even think that would be necessary to, have a total, like you can only use this for 10 total minutes.
Well, okay, I'm sorry,
Now,
Yield. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, now there are some games that have kind of implemented something in essence of a not a complete mode, but I can't remember the game off the top of my head. There have been some games where I want to say it was on Wii, but where they've gone, hey, we've noticed you've died a lot.
Do you want to lower the difficulty?
You want us to lower the difficulty for this part? And I want to say there was another game that was like, hey, you've died a lot. Would you like us to skip this part?
Yes.
So me, I've always said no. I don't care if I've died 30 times. Now I'm getting mad you're asking me the question. But I'm not going to let you best me. But that's just me. So there has been, in essence, I guess, trial implementations of something like this in certain games. But I just wanted to point that out if anybody hadn't realized that.
All right, just to finish my thought on the time on the complete mode, what I was thinking is like, okay, you activate the complete mode and it disables the trophy for beating that part, but it doesn't fully disable trophies for the rest of the game. So
so like if you use it to beat a boss and that boss was a trophy, you don't get that trophy.
You don't get that trophy, but all the other trophies left in the game are still eligible to get.
That doesn't sound like a bad thing, but sometimes that will block other trophies because it's like beating the boss can be a trophy, but then beating the chapter is a trophy. But if you don't beat the boss,
you don't beat the chapter.
How can you beat the chapter? That's a back-end developer thing to worry about. But
well, I mean,
just for the sake of argument, I think I would be okay with that.
Because, I mean, going on your point there, Yield, you don't get the trophy for beating the boss, but you get the trophy for beating the chapter.
The chapter.
Then it shows to anybody looking at your trophy list, oh, he must have used the complete mode for that boss.
Yeah.
So, all right. We've rambled on, and I think we're over 2 hours now, so let's wrap up the show with some shout-outs. Yield, I'll let you go first.
Shout out to Matt for putting together the show notes. Shout out for Tricky and Alex for recording this evening. Shout out to everybody who jumped into Twitch chat and was just hanging out. Hey, let us know what you think about the whole AI thing. Maybe if I remember, maybe one of us will put a post in the Facebook group. Let you guys debate about it. Where my train derailed.
Maybe you should turn on complete mode and finish it.
Screw you. Shout out to all the consumer out of the Hordom. Thank you for downloading, listening, hanging out with us. Shout out to my co-op Conquerors group. We're gonna get through. I've drawn the blank of the game. Cave whatchamajigger that we just got on Plus. We're gonna get through that and hopefully play some more co-op games this year. Shout out to Gareth for the rarity competition and all the write-ups and all the work that he puts into it, because it's a lot of his personal time. And yeah, peace out, folks. That's it this week.
All right, Alex.
Before I continue, I do want to say that Tricky was right. I was just at the crash site, and Daxter is with Jack. So Daxter's in there, but like I said, there are other PlayStation characters that are not. That's a little disappointing, but I did want to make an edit there that a correction that Tricky was correct. Daxter is in the game.
Should have said that on the show. He's going to make a soundbite of that.
It's fine. It's
Okay,
fine.
as long as you're fine with it.
If he wants to abuse that power, that's up to him. But give a shout out to the listeners, the fans, the fuel to the fire, this Trippy Horse. Thank you all very much for supporting us. Your continued support has gotten us past episode 700 and now firmly heading towards 800. Hopefully we have the cojones, the stones to make it there. But the reason that we have succeeded so well and been on for so long is, because of you all. So thank you all very much for your support. Shout out to my co-host Yield and Tricky and Matt. Last but not least, give a shout out to my awesome and loving girlfriend Ashley. I love you, hun. And that is going to be the end for me.
All right, I want to give a shout out to Hi Sakai and Platinum Reaper 23. Also, I'm hoping I'm saying this right. Ella Gary 70, who did some co-op in Rogue Company with me. Shout out to Twink Thief, who was also over there. And I was looking through my PlayStation list. There's a couple other people that asked to join, and I didn't see their messages. So I will get you guys in other sessions if you listen to the show. Probably not, because you have no idea who the hell I was on PSN profiles. So that being said, I want to give a shout out to Yield and Alex. I think great topic of the week. Yield, thank you for bringing it to our attention and putting it in the group chat. I think this is good conversation. I will be sure to put a question in the group on Wednesday after the show post to get people to give their opinions. And then maybe we can recap this next week when Matt's back, and Matt can give us his full thoughts as well. Shout out to Sweet Mama D. And if there's nothing else, until next week, happy trophy hunting.
See ya.
The theme song is Venus by the band Even off their album Zenith. Permission granted by the band and 12 Stone Records. You can find them on Facebook by going to www.facebook.com/evenphilippines.